It's not a walkthrough, playthrough, review, anything like that. It's just me playing the game badly so you can see what it looks like. Hello, so this might or might not be my Christmas special video. If it is, it's not going to be very special because it's not really about Christmas, barring this Christmas related Amiga game that's not even really playing a demo. But I might record something more a seasonal, festive thing tomorrow. Depends if I get time and stuff. Anyway, I don't know if you can actually even see me. It depends how I'm doing it, but mostly this is going to be gameplay footage from Gran Turismo Sport. I'm doing a race at the Nürburgring, 24-hour race allegedly. It lasts 4 laps. It definitely doesn't last 24 hours. I'll be doing another video with the same race but with the external view, but this one's the internal view, just because I've got it kicking around, and I thought, well, I'll do a bit of a Q&A extravaganza. Not Christmas related at all, but it's what I've got. So I've got the wrong glasses on, I can't see the questions. So, first question from Robert Berry, link down there to his channel, for Q&A. Have you ever considered redoing some of the early gameplay videos where the quality might not be as you want it? Yes, I have thought about it, and for a little while actually I did do some revisited videos quite a long time ago actually, because my very early videos are okay, you're never getting good production values or good editing or professional anything on one of my videos. If you're looking for that, you're on the wrong channel. I mean, what are you even doing here? But it used to be even worse. It was in standard definition. There was frequently no editing at all. Quality was pretty appalling. Sound was pretty appalling. I didn't know what I was doing. Not like I do now. Yeah, they're pretty shoddy. I leave them up because it's good to show progression. It's good to be able to go back and look and say, wow, how far I've come. About that far. But do I think about re-recording some of them? Yes, and the reason I don't is I've still got so many other things yet to record. It's limitless. It's never ending. There are always more games that I can do recordings of, and when there are so many that I haven't recorded, it seems like not a good use of my time to record something that I've already done. I'm just looking at what the time is because I've got to keep this to half an hour. When I started. So it's kind of like, it's a thing that's dawned on me recently. I've got quite a DVD collection, and I used to have a big VHS collection as well, and I would watch the films several times, many times in some cases. But as the collection grew and as films continue to come out and as I get older, I realise if I were to re-watch the films that I've already watched, and like all of them, or many of them, the ones that I particularly like, it leaves less time for watching new ones. And you could spend all your time re-watching old stuff and there would be no time left for the new ones, and new ones are really good. Films, while maybe not so many are being released these days, the quality I think is awesome. There is a lack of originality happening, definitely. If you're a person who doesn't like comic based films, superheroes, it's probably hellish for you, but I love these things. I watched Joker the other day and I found it absolutely bloody amazing. Blew my mind how good it was. Not one to watch if you're feeling depressed, because God, it's not cheerful, but it is so good. But it's like, that was great, and it kind of made me want to go back to earlier Batman films. but it's like, there's no time for that. Can't do that. You kind of, while I'm playing retro games, I'm not playing new games, and actually most of the time now I'm playing new games and not playing retro games, because you could get stuck. It would be easy to get stuck in nostalgia and not live in the present, and I like to live in the present, while I do like nostalgia as well. You got to strike a balance. So no, I while I've thought about going back and redoing old ones, I'm not going to, unless I have a very, very specific reason for doing it, and I don't know what such a reason would be, but I don't have one at the moment. Yeah, so yes, I think about it. No, highly unlikely that I will be doing that. It's kind of a shame, because there are some classic games that I've recorded videos of that maybe they deserve a better video. Maybe the one I didn't do it justice, maybe I didn't know what I was doing, maybe it's just crap quality. So, you know, I can see the appeal in going back, but I could spend all my time redoing my stuff, and that's not the way to move forward. Okay. Next question is from Lee Price. Link to your channel down there. He asks, for Q&A, are there any games that really give you a nostalgia kick? I don't actually know, is the short answer. There are some games, now I don't know if I would call this a nostalgia kick, they bring back a very, very specific memory. Something that was happening at the time, or was on my mind at the time, or a place that I was. That they trigger very specific memories every time I play them. Enduro on the Atari 2600. Instantly, I'm at my grandparents' house, Christmas Day, 1984, with a black and white portable TV. Everyone else is like watching telly and playing games and doing family things that sod that, I got Enduro on the Atari, I didn't want to do any of that. So I literally spent all day playing Enduro and ignoring everyone else, and every so often my gran or granddad or whoever would say, "Are you alright? Oh. You know, don't you want to come and join in?" Blah. And I'm like, "No, I'm playing." They thought I was, I don't know what they thought actually. If they thought I was a bit weird, they were probably right. There's no probably about it. I was a bit weird and not much has changed. Yeah, that's what Enduro makes me think of. Battle Zone has a very specific memory attached to it. It's not a good one, and I'm not going to go into really much detail at all. Where it is. An incident occurred while I was playing Battle Zone in a shop in Stony Stratford, Harris McColl's as it was. Yeah, someone who I was with basically went completely off their nut and caused a scene, and I had to drag them out of the place while I hadn't even finished my game, for God's sake. Yeah, and I love that game, but I can't play it without thinking of that occasion, which is a shame. Defender in the arcade. I'm in a cafe in Wolverton in Milton Keynes. I don't know what that place is now. The last time I knew what it was a Greek restaurant. I'm pretty sure it's something else by now. It was a cafe. It was nothing fancy at all. They had a few arcade games, and they had a Defender game. I wasn't playing Defender. I was playing Galaxian. But about 2 cabinets down, there was the Defender cabinet, and there was a guy playing it. I was probably 12 or 13 or something. There was an older teen, I guess he was about 17-ish maybe, playing Defender. And he was doing quite well, which impressed the hell out of me, because I didn't dare play it because my few attempts had resulted in a very, very short game. I'm a bit better at it now, but not much. But my memory is just of seeing 10p rolling across the floor. And this guy playing Defender cursing, and like he didn't know, because he dropped it. He was mid-game. I don't know how he came to. I don't know what he was doing, and he put the 10p's on the top of the thing to play like his next game. But he dropped one. He dropped 10p, and it went rolling across the floor. And he was like, does he retrieve his 10p and lose his game, or does he continue his game and potentially lose his 10p? And you could see the look of anguish on his face. Yeah, I always remember that. Defender is 10p rolling across the floor. Gyruss. Gyruss takes me back to the Agora in Wolverton. It was like a roller skating thing in the evenings. It was an indoor market in the daytime. In the evening, roller skating. And there was this guy who I was with, who I knew off of the CB radio. I was a CB radio fanatic, or certainly enthusiast anyway. And what was his name? Pinball Wizard, that was his CB handle. Mine was Xerox way back then. Do you copy? Yeah, I think it was the first time we'd seen Gyruss. I just remember taking it in turns, playing Gyruss, and probably both actually doing quite well. And I've always liked that game ever since. Partly it's the music, partly it's that it's not actually that difficult a game. I find it a lot easier than Galaxian, say. Maybe even a bit easier than Galaga. And I just remember that. I mean, I've played it before then, and I hadn't played it before then. I played it since then, and whatever. But I always remember that one time playing it with him, and it was a laugh. It was fun. Other games? Street Fighter 2. Playing it with a girlfriend. Old, she was young, but it was a long time ago. Yeah, I remember playing that in the arcade, and then it came out on the SNES, and I bought a SNES and got Street Fighter 2 on the SNES, and I don't know if we ever actually did it. I think there was a plan that we would play. We were fairly evenly matched, and I think the idea was we would play Street Fighter to decide who was going to do the washing up, which was probably a pretty good way of doing things. I don't remember if we actually did it or not. That was a plan, and I do kind of I'm taken back to that time when I play Street Fighter 2. I'm trying to think if there's any other games that really do that. It's about there are others, but there are none that stand out quite so well. So I'm going to leave it at those few. I remember those fondly, and maybe not so fondly in the case of Battlezone. Okay, moving on. Lonelyplaneted. Okay. I've read The Lonely Planet and then saw that. Or is it Lonely Planet Ed? I don't know. Put Q and a link to his channel down. Well, if it's Ed, link to his channel down there. If it's, I don't know if it's he or she. Whatever. For Q&A, are there any systems that you have that are just sitting there taking up space that you don't use, and you wish you could use but you don't? I was thinking of getting an N64, but I fear it will just sit there gathering dust. Okay. Do you know how many systems I've got? I know not everyone has seen my collection video. The answer to your question, if I want to be really, really, really short and brief about it, is yes, there are. There are quite a lot. I don't know how many systems I've got. It's the last time I counted, which was quite a long while ago, was 130. I've got more than that now. Some of them are like modern emulation systems and stuff like that, so it's like, do they even count? Yes. The thing is, I've moved since when I collected this collection. I didn't live here. I lived somewhere where I had like more room, and I had a games room where everything was on display. And if I wanted to play a system, I could just pick it off the shelf, put it in front of the telly or whatever, and set it up and play it. I can't do that here. It's too. Everything's crammed in, boxed, stacked, not easily accessible. So there are an awful lot of systems that are not accessible, not getting played, and it's a shame, but that's practicalities. That's just how my circumstances are at the moment. A lot of them I would like to play. A lot of them actually, I have recorded videos of every game I own for them, or every game that I can understand well enough to play and make a video of. So there is no point me getting them out unless I just happen to want to play those games, but I wouldn't be making a video of them. And mostly when I'm playing retro games, it's to make a video. So what I have now is a setup where most of the systems that I have SD card solutions for, where I can easily put more games on, have a big collection of games, and easily just fire it up and make a video. Most of those I have set up here under me telly. Those being PC Engine. I've got a little mini NES thing with multiple games on it. Assorted Game Boys, Spectrum, Mega Drive and 32X, ColecoVision, Commodore 64, Atari 2600, PS2, PS4, Wii, VIC-20 just there, that would be an easy one. SNES, N64, Amiga. Those are my ready-to-go systems. Everything else is packed away. The only other one I think that's in there that I've got a SD card thingy on, actually it's not even an SD card, it's compact flash, I think, is a BBC Micro. That one I've got quite a collection on, but it's too big to have set up. I keep thinking that there's a SD card solution for the Acorn Electron, and it would be good to set that up. And I was going to order one just like last week, but they'd sold out, so too bad. Yeah, lots and lots and lots that I would really like to be playing, but I haven't got the space, haven't got the time really. This is a thing. It is great to have an enormous collection, but it becomes it takes up a hell of a lot of room for a start. This room is cramped, and it's not a small room. But it's also, it limits your flexibility in terms of, if I got fed up of living in this house and decided I want to move to another shared house, because I can't really afford a flat, and there are lots of shared houses in Worksop, and some maybe nicer than this one, I don't know. I can't easily just say, yeah, sod it, I'll move. It took me a week to get everything into this room from where I was before. So, it's not just... There are people who live here or have lived here that are able to just pick up all of their belongings in a couple of suitcases and get up and go and do it on foot. Me with a car took a week. So, yeah, having a lot of stuff can be limiting to your life if you want flexibility and stuff. which is not really anything to do with your question, but it train of thought. How am I doing for time? I've got 10 minutes. Okay, next question. Tripcore, link to his channel down there. For Q&A, do you prefer side-scrolling shoot-'em-ups or vertical scrolling shoot-'em-ups? Yes. Honestly, no preference. No, I like both. If I was to say which my favourites were of each type, vertical, I would say Radiant Silvergun. I love that. I think it is so massively clever. Not to mention bloody hard, and it kicks my ass. I have got it, an original disc. None of this emulated business. Not that I've got anything against emulation, especially on handhelds, but I've got an original disc of Radiant Silvergun. What it doesn't have is the original case. It's a reproduction, which is a shame, but it cost me 50 quid instead of 120 at the time. I don't even know what they cost now. Horizontal shooters, my favourite, Scramble. Go back to the first one. I love Scramble. I know there are lots and lots of way more advanced horizontal shooters now, but I don't care. The first time I ever saw Scramble, I was just like, this is awesome. This is just brilliant, and I still feel that way. Part of it, I think, is to do with the colours and the design of the ship. It is so vibrant and simple, but it feels, it's got a visual impact to it that I really like. I don't care how fancy modern graphics get on modern games, and I mean I've played some really cool horizontal shooters. Einhander, is that what it's called, on the PS1? Great, that's one that comes to mind. And what's it? Some of these weird Japanese ones like Parodius and other, what's it called? I can visualise it, and I can't think of the name. There's one on the Mega CD that I played recently, and it's just weird. I really like the weird Japanese ones. I think they're brilliant. But I'm always going to come back to Scramble. And then of course, if you were to ask me Scramble or Radiant Silvergun, yeah, I'd just have to walk away shaking my head. Or say, shut up! Don't ask me questions like that. Can't answer it. Have I got room for another question? No. Okay, so that's my Q&A thing. If you've got a question you'd like answering in a video like this, or in the normal double header format thing that I usually do where I answer questions, leave your question in the comments below. Begin with for Q&A, so I know not to just answer in the comments. And I was going to say thank you for watching, but I've not finished. So I said earlier, I don't know if I'm going to do a dedicated Christmas video or not. So if I don't, I want to say I hope you have a brilliant Christmas. I'm probably almost certainly going to do something before New Year. My Christmas plans, I'm working on Christmas Day. Yep. I worked last Christmas. I worked the Christmas before it. It's the nature of my job. It's a pain in the ass. But I'll be working Christmas morning. I don't know what time until. But then I'll be going to Joe's in the afternoon and have Christmas dinner there and presents, and I've got a bottle of Johnny Walker. So we're going to have a drink or two. I can't get too drunk, because I've got to get up early and go back to work Boxing Day morning, and I'll have to drive, so there will be no getting absolutely plastered, but certainly a little bit merry. And that in itself will be fun, because I don't drink very often. Jo doesn't drink very often. I've never seen her even fuzzy round the edges, and same with me. We've never been drunk in each other's presence. So if we're going to get a little bit merry, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So in the presumption that I'm going to have a Merry Christmas, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, and maybe there'll be a Christmas video thingy from me before then. My plan is I'll try and record a Christmas gameplay tomorrow, upload it and have it auto-publish on Christmas Day. That's the plan, but you know, this is me, it might not happen. We'll see. So, Happy Christmas, if I don't get to say it again before then. And thank you for watching. Oh, come on.
There you are. Have you finished polishing the silverware like I asked you? Yes? Splendid. Here's 50 pence. Now, go and click the subscribe button like a good peasant.